Okay guys, honestly, I had no idea what to expect when it came to taxes involving a rental property. I just jumped in headfirst because I wasn't gonna let anything like fear slow me down. But I'm very pleased to say that after 2019 being my first year of actually having completely taxable income for the entire year due to rental income I got, holy cow, there are so many different benefits that you get an opportunity to take advantage of. I didn't even get to take advantage of all of them, but I took advantage of enough of them that I was able to bring the amount that I actually had to pay taxes on, which was nearly 20 grand, all the way down to 3,500 bucks. Let me go ahead and explain exactly how I did that. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mike from Seattle, and no, I am not green screening like I was asked about last time. It really is actually just this beautiful and still out here. I know that it almost looks in the 4K Ultra HD like it's green screen, but it really isn't. This is actually like, there's just some blackberry bushes back here, okay? There's real grass, right? Do you see that? Yeah, real. I didn't take an allergy pill this morning. I'm gonna regret that. I want to talk today about taxes. How does getting rental income affect your taxes? What you're going to pay? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Let's talk about the write-offs. So for the year, I got $19,975 of additional income through rent for the calendar year of 2019. First, like 6 months of the year, the property was rented at $1,600. When that tenant moved out, we actually brought the rents up closer to what the market value of the property is, which is about $2,100. We went for $1,950. We kept it a little low because we wanted to make sure that we attracted more renters so we could pick the best tenant. And I got a great tenant right now, honestly. The tax that I have to pay on $19,975 additional dollars, right? Now, when you hear 20 grand, essentially, 25 bucks short of 20 grand, you're like, oh man, that's gonna be a decent sized tax bill. Oh wait, hold on just a second. You actually get to write off so much. I got a chance to write off improvements that I did on the property. I got a chance to write off interest that I was paying on the mortgage on the property. I got a chance to write off repairs. I got a chance to write off supplies. I got a chance to write off utilities that I paid for. So I'm gonna go ahead and break down exactly what I wrote off, how it helped me pay less in taxes, and why you don't have to be too afraid, especially if you own a single family home you're renting out completely, or a duplex house hacking like I do. All right, guys, so different things that you can actually write off if you pay fees towards these on a rental property. You can write off your cost to advertise the unit. You can write off your auto and your travel expenses to go to and from the unit. Now I live here in a duplex, so obviously I'm right here. I'm not actually gonna write those off. You can write off your cleaning and maintenance of the unit, as you have to clean it when you turn it over, right? Or maintenance, just things break down and wear down. You can write off commissions that you may have had to pay to somebody. You can write off the cost of insurance on the property. What did you pay for insurance each year? You can write off your legal and other professional fees, like if you had to consult with an attorney, maybe you put the property into an LLC, maybe you had to hire an attorney to represent you or take a look at a contract or do the contracts for you. All of that you can write off. Management fees. Do you have a property manager? You can write those fees and costs off. Mortgage and interest paid to the banks. This is a rental property. It's an investment property. I get a chance here in Washington, at least, to write off the interest that I'm paying on a mortgage. Well, everybody knows that the first several years that you have a mortgage, like 95% of your mortgage payment is going to pay off the interest. If you don't know that, let me explain it briefly. So when you take out a mortgage, you're going to pay the same cost over the 30-year life, right? Let's call it $3,000 but the interest is paid off first. So you're paying $2,900 of your $3,000 goes to paying off the interest on the loan. And then at the end of the loan, that's when you actually pay off the principal. Those last 5 years, you're paying almost exclusively principal on the mortgage, right? So because I'm paying off so much in interest on my mortgage and not the principal, I get a chance to write almost all of that off. Repairs, supplies, taxes, utilities, depreciation. So we can take the value of my house, 450 grand for this duplex, and I can say that it's going down in value 3% a year over the next 30 years, and I'm depreciating the asset, and we can write that up as a cost. So what you're gonna do is add all of those expenses together, right? All the things I just listed. And then you're gonna subtract that number from your yearly income with rent. So for me, it was $19,975, almost 20 grand, and I got a chance to subtract $16,433. Now the big bulk of that was in interest, right? 10 grand of it, 10 and a half was in interest paid to the bank. The interesting thing is I actually paid more interest than that, but because this is a duplex, I don't get to count the portion of my property that I live in. So a lot of the costs associated with this property, I actually had to divide in half because it's my primary residence. Because I paid like $21,000 in interest, but I only get to write off half of it because I lived in half of it. Don't ask me why not everybody gets to take advantage of these things. It's just how it is. So I'd love to actually show you guys here on my tax forms what I paid and how the breakdown works so you can look at it, but I am way too afraid to actually screenshot or post anything online that comes directly from my tax forms because there's too many places for social security numbers and other personally identifying information on this thing. So I'm gonna skip that. You just have to take my word for it. So $19,975, that's the total amount in rent that I received for 2019. My total expenses was $16,433. So if I subtract the 16 from the 19, I come up with a remainder of $3,500, $3,542. That's the actual amount of money that I received that I have to now pay taxes on. So then they go through the rest of my taxes. My tax bracket, according to this form, again, I think I'm reading it right. I did my best to read it and understand it. I think I'm reading it right. My tax bracket is 22%. So you would think I would have to pay 22% on the $3,542, but next to it is an effective tax rate. So whatever tax, I guess, breaks I must have qualified for, my effective tax rate was actually only 16%. So I only paid 16% on that $3,542. So the actual bill that I had on $20,000 nearly of rental income from my duplex, the actual tax bill that I had to pay at the end of the year was $566. Okay. Now this was without consulting with a tax professional prior to doing this year's worth of business. This was just me knowing that I needed to save my receipts because I could write certain stuff off, and I kept all that information. I filled out the forms when it came time to file my taxes, and I went ahead and presented that to the tax preparer. Now I have an appointment set up to meet with an actual tax advisor to advise me how I could potentially set up a business and an LLC and what I can do differently to make that bill go down even more. I didn't actually end up paying anything because my actual tax return from my normal 9-to-5 W-2 income job as a police officer, I overpaid and I got a return that was bigger than what I ended up owing. So I actually still got money back, but the taxable income and almost 20 grand worth of stuff, again, the majority of my write-off came from me just being able to write off interest on the loan that I had to cut in half, which if you own a single family home and you rent that thing out entirely, you get to write off all of the interest. All right, guys, I had to go inside my car and let my phone sit on the AC for a second because it was so hot outside that it was shutting down the camera. It wouldn't let me actually do any filming. So let me go ahead and wrap up that video real quick. Ultimately, the thing I want you to take away from all of this is that you have an unbelievable opportunity to take advantage of tax write-offs in a way that you probably will never get if you just own a single family home as your primary residence you live in. You can write off your repairs, you can write off utilities, you can write off all of these different expenses that impact your business as a landlord that you don't get to take advantage of when you're a single family home primary residence owner. So this is amazing because I was sitting there wondering, oh man, I really hope I don't have to pay like $5 grand at the end of the year, or I really hope that I don't end up paying like 50% of my positive cash flow because then that makes the investment a whole lot worse. And I had known that I had heard there's so many different tax advantages, things that I won't even be able to take advantage for a long time, like a 1031 exchange, for instance. But actually going through 2019 and doing my taxes and seeing on paper in front of me how I was able to bring the taxable income I had from 20,000 bucks all the way down to just 3,500, and I had to pay a 16% tax on $3,500, I was completely floored, just absolutely blown away, unbelievably happy with that, and I'm extremely excited for my future rentals where I'll be able to write 100% of the income off because, or excuse me, 100% of the interest off because I won't be living in those properties. Guys, I really appreciate you watching my channel. I know I always say don't subscribe. I know I always say I don't really care about that. Obviously, I'm just using reverse psychology and cracking jokes. If I had to be honest with you, I'm really actually starting to try. I really want to try to document this journey and share with you the information that you want or that you need, because I get more and more people emailing me, Instagram messaging me, Millennial Mike on Instagram, send me a DM, girl. I have, people that leave me comments. I have people that reach out to me on my old video game channel. I have people that have added me on Xbox Live or Snapchat, I'm happy to help anybody. If you're in the Seattle area and you need a help or you just want to chat sometime, dude, hit me up, man. I talk to kids, not in a weird way. I talk to like kids who have questions about investing in real estate. I talk to adults. I talk to people across the country. This is gonna be a really crazy thing that I do here because I don't know anybody else who's done it. There isn't a single other person that I can find on YouTube who has done what I am doing. Now, maybe there's some people who are going to try to do the same thing, but right now, there isn't an actual video series out there of somebody who started with nothing and built it up to a successful real estate investing portfolio. Everybody that you can watch already has that successful real estate portfolio and then talks about what they did to get there instead of talking about what they did while they were doing it. So if you think that that's actually a valuable concept and something that you want other people to see, then yes, please like, share, subscribe, comment, blow me up so I can be a sellout. It's your boy. We'll catch you next time.